He has no idea I'm the reason he didn't get the job. Back in 2009, I was at this huge conference in Chicago for people in our industry. I had just finished my master's degree and was asked to be on this panel discussion about new technologies. I was 28 years old, the only woman, and the only person under 40 on the entire panel. Our mutual friend Mark came up to me during the lunch break and wanted to introduce me to this guy named David. David was apparently a big deal in our field. He'd been working for like 20 years and had his own consulting firm. Mark goes, "David, this is Sarah. She's got over 10 years of experience and just finished her master's at MIT. I was excited to meet him. I'd read some of his papers in grad school, so I smile and extend my hand to shake his. David looked at my hand like I was offering him garbage. Then he actually sneered at me and said, "I have more years of experience than you have years alive, little girl." Then he just turned around and walked away. Mark stood there with his mouth open. I was so shocked I couldn't even respond. I just stood there holding my hand out like an idiot while other people stared at us. The rest of the conference was awful. Every time I saw David, he'd make these comments loud enough for people to hear. Things like, "They're really lowering the bar for panel speakers these days." Or, "Guess anyone with a degree thinks they're an expert now." During my actual panel discussion, he sat in the front row with his arms crossed, shaking his head at everything I said. When I mentioned a new approach to data analysis, he literally laughed out loud. People turned to look at him and he just shrugged like I'd said something stupid. After my panel, several people came up to congratulate me, but David walked past and muttered, "Affirmative action at its finest." I heard him. Other people heard him too. Nobody said anything. I went back to my hotel room that night and cried. I'd worked so hard to get where I was. I'd pulled all-nighters for my thesis, dealt with professors who didn't take me seriously, fought to be on that panel, and this guy I'd never even met decided I didn't deserve to be there just because I was young and female. Fast forward 15 years. I'm now the director of a large agency that handles major projects in our industry. We have a budget of about $40 million a year. When we need extra help, we hire contractors to fill in the gaps. My assistant walks into my office one day with a stack of proposals for a new project. She goes, "We've got some really qualified people who applied." I'm flipping through and then I see it. David's consulting firm. I read through his proposal. It was actually pretty good. He had the experience we needed. His rates were competitive. Under normal circumstances, he probably would have gotten the contract. My assistant is standing there going, "This David guy looks perfect for the project. What do you think?" I closed the folder and looked at her. "Tell me about the other candidates." She started describing 2 other firms that were also qualified. I picked one of them and said, "Let's go with them instead." My assistant looked confused. But David has more experience and his proposal was stronger. I just smiled and said, "I've worked with him before and it wasn't a good experience. Trust me on this one." That was 3 years ago. Since then, David's firm has applied for 6 more contracts with our agency. 6 times his proposals have crossed my desk. And 6 times I've told the same story to whoever is reviewing applications. I explain how he treated me at that conference, how he sneered at me, called my accomplishments affirmative action, made me feel worthless in front of my peers. And every single time the person listening goes, "Wow, okay, we definitely don't want to work with someone like that. David never gets the contracts. We always find someone else." Last month I was at another conference and saw him across the room. He looked older, tired. His firm isn't doing as well as it used to. I heard from Mark that he's been struggling to get contracts from the bigger agencies. David walked right past me at the conference, didn't even recognize me. Why would he? I was just some little girl who didn't deserve to be there. But here's the thing that makes me smile. He has absolutely no idea that I'm the reason his proposals keep getting rejected. No clue that the young woman he dismissed 15 years ago is now in a position to return the favor. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it, not even a little bit. He made his choice about how to treat people. Now he gets to live with the consequences.